Imagine this. You're standing on a vast, icy tundra. Snow blows past your boots. In the distance, the ground trembles. And then, you see it. A massive woolly mammoth. Towering, majestic, alive. This isn't a movie trailer or a history documentary. This is a very real possibility. Right now, teams of scientists are actively working to bring the woolly mammoth back from extinction. Not in a few decades, possibly in just a few years. Sounds like science fiction? It's not. This video takes you into the heart of a scientific revolution. We're diving deep into the real efforts to revive extinct species, beginning with the mammoth. But beyond the technology, there's a storm of ethical, ecological, and existential questions. Are we rewriting nature or rescuing it? Welcome to Know the Mammoth's Comeback, where we explore what it means when extinction is no longer forever. Let's begin. Woolly mammoths aren't just Ice Age icons, they're the stuff of legend. For centuries, their bones inspired myths, their frozen remains fascinated explorers, and their extinction left behind a gaping hole in Earth's biodiversity. So why are we so obsessed with bringing them back? It's not just nostalgia. Mammoths, once part of the vast mammoth steppe, were ecosystem shapers. They trampled trees, fertilized soil, and helped maintain grasslands that supported an intricate web of life. But more than that, there's something deeply symbolic about their return. Mammoths represent the boundary between what we lost and what we might reclaim. They weren't wiped out millions of years ago. They were among the last Ice Age giants, vanishing only about 4,000 years ago. Their DNA is still relatively intact. Some are preserved in the permafrost, almost frozen in time. So scientists ask, what if we could reverse extinction? What if we could undo a wrong? Or at least try. But before we can even entertain a future with mammoths, we have to understand how they might return. The resurrection of the mammoth isn't about time machines, it's about cutting-edge biotechnology. There are three main paths researchers are exploring. 1. Cloning. This was the first idea. Take intact mammoth DNA, insert it into an elephant egg cell, and clone a mammoth. But there's a problem. Mammoth DNA, even from frozen carcasses, is fragmented and degraded. It's like trying to rebuild a book with most of the pages missing. Full cloning, still out of reach, at least for now. 1. Gene editing, CRISPR. Enter CRISPR, the revolutionary gene editing tool. Instead of cloning a full mammoth, scientists can edit the genome of the Asian elephant, its closest living relative, to include mammoth traits: thick fur, small ears, fat storage, and cold-resistant blood. This creates a hybrid, not a pure mammoth, but a genetically engineered elephant with mammoth-like adaptations. This is the route being taken by companies like Colossal Biosciences, which raised millions to bring the mammoth, or something like it, back to the Arctic tundra. 1. Selective breeding and surrogacy. Once a mammoth-like embryo is created, it needs a womb. And here's the controversial part. It would likely require an Asian elephant surrogate to carry the embryo. Elephants are intelligent, emotional creatures. The ethics of using them in experimental reproduction raises serious concerns. More on that later. Still, scientists are making progress. Each year the tools get better, the knowledge deeper, and the dream more real. But even if the first woolly mammoth is born next year, what happens when it takes its first steps into a world that's moved on? This is where things get even more fascinating and controversial. Mammoths weren't just big animals, they were ecosystem engineers. They helped maintain the mammoth steppe, one of the largest biomes of the Ice Age. It stretched across Europe, Asia, and North America. Today, those regions are dominated by tundra and forests. So what if reintroducing mammoths could help restore that ecosystem? That's the theory behind Pleistocene Park, a real-world project in Siberia, where scientists are testing this very idea. The goal? To turn back the ecological clock, replacing forests with grasslands. Why? Because grasslands reflect more sunlight than forests and help keep permafrost frozen. And permafrost holds massive amounts of carbon. If it melts, that carbon is released, accelerating climate change. In theory, mammoths could help stomp down trees, fertilize the soil, and bring back the cold-adapted grasslands, slowing global warming in the process. A powerful vision. But is it real? Here's the flip side. Mammoths haven't been part of the ecosystem for 4,000 years. Nature has moved on. Introducing them could cause unexpected imbalances, even if they're released gradually. What about diseases, competition with current species, or invasive behaviors? And then there's scale. You'd need hundreds, maybe thousands of mammoths to make any ecological difference. Is that realistic? What starts as a bold experiment could spiral into ecological chaos if mismanaged. Now we arrive at the heart of the debate. Even if we can bring mammoths back, should we? 1. Animal welfare. To create even a single mammoth-like animal, scientists might need to go through dozens of failed pregnancies in elephant surrogates, pain, suffering, death, and when the animal is born, it won't have a herd, no parents, no teachers, just scientists in white coats. What kind of life is that? Would it be fair, humane, or just a scientific vanity project? 1. Playing God, critics ask. Are we crossing a line? Reviving extinct species sounds noble, but is it wise? Nature is complex. Are we arrogantly assuming we can control it? Are we opening the door to designer species, not for conservation, but for curiosity, tourism, or profit? And if we can bring back mammoths, what's next? Saber-toothed cats, Neanderthals, where do we draw the line? 1. Resource allocation. Every dollar spent on mammoth de-extinction is a dollar not spent on saving species that are dying right now. Tigers, rhinos, elephants, the very animals we need to carry mammoth embryos. What's more important, resurrecting the dead or protecting the living? And if mammoth de-extinction fails, do we risk public trust in all conservation science? These are not easy questions, but they are questions we must ask. So where do we stand? On one side, we have unprecedented technology that might allow us to reverse extinction, restore ecosystems, and even fight climate change, a vision of hope, of redemption. On the other, we face enormous ethical dilemmas, unknown ecological consequences, and the risk of overstepping our role in nature. This isn't just about mammoths, it's about who we are as a species. What kind of world do we want to create? A world where we undo our past mistakes, or one where we learn to live with them? Maybe de-extinction isn't about playing God. Maybe it's about taking responsibility. But the decision doesn't belong to scientists alone. It belongs to all of us. What do you think? If you had the power to bring back an extinct species, would you? Would you walk with a mammoth, or leave them in the past? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video, start a conversation, and if you found this fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wild frontiers of science and ethics. This is No, and you've just stepped into one of the biggest debates of the 21st century. Until next time, stay curious, know more, be more.